Hi everyone, I'm the plant propagator and welcome to my channel. Today it is a beautiful but little cool day here in Southwest Florida. It is 60 degrees Fahrenheit, which is I think 16 degrees Celsius. So it was a little cool this morning, and but it was fine, and now it has warmed up. And it's such a beautiful day. You know, in this area, a lot of people get concerned about their orchids and how they're going to do in the cooler weather. And I've had people contact me through my YouTube channel and say, what am I going to do? And until it gets a little cooler, until there's actually threat of frost, I don't do much of anything. I let things sit outside. The only plants that I would potentially bring in are my Vandas, and I can't do that because my Vandas are attached to my trees. I can put up frost cloth, and I have done that in the past, but it wasn't cool enough to do that. There was really no damage, no threat from frost, and it was okay. Anyway, what I want to do with you today is share with you some of my Vandas. I usually don't have much to share with Vandas because they, in the past, they haven't done well for me, but I guess they've gotten big enough so that they're starting to flower and they're starting to do well. And in reality, today, even though I don't have that many of them, I've got 6 that are either blooming or in spike. And what I'm finding out from my Vandas is that the ones that I do have, the flowers are very long-lived. So they afford me a nice opportunity that I can share them with you over a longer period of time. And I've got a little bit of a story to tell with a few of them. So let's get right to it. And I want to start with this one right here behind me. This is a really nice yellow flowering Vanda. This is a stylus Veeraphol, and which is a Vanda crossed with I think a stylus. And I got this plant, this was a gift from Jim, so thanks Jim. I got this plant, I think around 4 years ago. And it has really nice, small yellow flowers on this. And the nice thing about it, and it blooms pretty consistently. It blooms a lot. So this is the second bloom spike that has come out on the main part of this plant. But in addition to that, I've got some keikis growing out, and I have one of the keikis is showing its first bloom spike. So I'm really excited to have that. Apparently it likes where it is. It's doing well, flowers a lot, no fragrance, which is unfortunate, small flower, which is unfortunate, but it's doing okay, and it's stuck on my tree, so I can't really move it anywhere. I can't do anything with it, and that's okay. All right, so again, this is the first orchid that I wanted to share with you. It's a Vanda stylus Veeraphol, and I should say that I think this was generated by a breeder, in India. All right, moving on then to this plant right here. And this plant, I'm a little bit, I'm excited about because this is a first bloom, and this is an unregistered hybrid. So this is a crown fox golden spots crossed with Vanda crown fox Indigo Magic. And the flowers on this are kind of bronze to yellow, spotted. It's the first bloom spot, and they're not huge, so the flowers may be about 3 inches wide, but it's in full bloom right now. It seems to be doing really well. And again, the nice thing about it is that this is my first bloom. I've had this for I think for 4 years, and I got it from RF Orchids as a seedling. So when you go to RF, they have and I love this part I like a lot of different parts of RF, but they have a Vanda seedling table. So you can go through and grab Vandas, and I think at the time that I bought this it was 4 years ago, was $8. Guess what the price is now? $8 still. And if you go there for a sale, and they have frequent sales, you can get it for less. So I got this. It was listed as a cross. I checked on Orchid Roots recently, and it's still listed as a cross. So Bob doesn't like to name his orchids until he sees the flower, because he likes to wait. It used to be that's how you had to do it. It's not the case anymore. But he still does wait. And this one is still a unregistered hybrid. So I contacted him and Mike, and I said, I can send you a picture if you want, and then you can name this. And he said, great, thanks. So he waits. Some of the other breeders and growers do that. They wait until it flowers for them to name the hybrid. So I sent him the pictures of the flower and the whole plant and things like that, so that he could register this plant. Now the thing is, if you yourself have a hybrid and you look it up and it's unregistered and you know where you got it, or you know the breeder on it, it's nice. It is a courtesy to send the breeder, the originator, an image of the flower. It's nice because, you know, I myself generate hybrids, and as a hybridizer, it's nice to see what type, the flowers that you get on your plant. If you can't keep them all, I can only keep 5 of each of my hybrids that I generate. Pretty soon I'm not going to even have the space for that. But it's nice, as I sell my hybrids and as RF Orchids sells their hybrids, it's really nice to share images of your flower on your plant with the originator. They will really appreciate it. I've done that with Fred Clark in the past. He likes seeing what his flowers look like on his hybrids. Again, most of us can't keep the hybrids. So I shared this image of this flower with RF. This is a first bloom that I think they've seen, because if they had a bloom on one of their plants, they would have registered it by now. So it's first bloom for me. It may be first bloom for them, and I'm excited. It's always exciting to have a first bloom on any orchid. So again, that's this one. Doesn't have a name yet. It's an unregistered hybrid, and we'll see what comes out of it. Also on this, again, a little bit of a smaller flower, full bloom, no fragrance on this, which is a little disappointing, but you know, that's what a lot of them are like. Okay. What I want to do, and I also want to share with you one other one that I'm not gonna physically move and show you the actual plant. But I have a Vanda. It is Aranda Moonlight that I got just a few months ago. The breeder on this plant's from India, but it's been registered. And there are a lot of people that have this, and this was a Vanda that was from Palmer Orchids, and I attached it to a tree in my front yard, and it continues. It had a bloom when I got it, and that bloom spike fell off, but then it put out another one. So it's a nice Vanda, because I like plants that bloom a lot. And some of my Vandas haven't bloomed. This my oldest one right here has never bloomed. But this Moonlight has already bloomed. The roots have grown and attached to the tree. Not the nicest flower, so another yellow, which is okay in the orchid world. But I like it because it seems to like where it is, attached to the tree, and it seems to be growing nicely and blooming nicely. Okay, what I'm going to do, I have 3 more Vandas that I want to share with you. And what I need to do is move to a different location so that I can show you those. Okay, and we're back. So I've got just a few more Vandas that I wanted to share with you. Apparently, this is a good location for Vandas, because these guys are right adjacent to, actually above and below each other on the same tree. I've got more Vandas behind me. I've got a Rinco stylus on the back of this tree that's bloomed before. And so they like being on these trees, and they appear to be doing pretty well. This one I've shared with you a few times, and this one continues to impress me. So this is Vanda Selena. I picked this up this was a gift from Mike at RF Orchids. I've told you this story before. I helped him, he presented at my local orchid society, and I like Mike, and I was being nice to him, and I helped him carry things back to his vehicle, the plants that they didn't sell. And he turned around as I was helping him load things into his van and said, "Here, take this." And he gave me a Vanda Selena that was flowering, but that was pretty small. And I said, "Thanks." And I'm thinking to myself, geez, okay, Vandas don't usually grow well for me, but I'll give it a try. I didn't say that, I thought that. And so I came back and strapped it on this tree, and it has just done so well. I think the problem is the first few Vandas that I got were gifts from people where the Vanda had never bloomed for them before. And it's like, let's give it to the plant propagator and see what he'll do. So this was the first one that was gifted to me that did really, really well. So right now, this Vanda has 3 open flower spikes on, these are actually all on these 3 are on 3 different keikis that are coming from the original plant. But the plant itself has gotten really large. It's a large number of keikis. The roots run up and down this tree, probably, I think about, it's about 5 feet down, so about 1.5 meters down, and the roots run about 2 meters, 6 feet up in the tree. So the roots, and then all these roots dangle down from the side. So this plant is doing very well. It does get good sun. It's a good bright location. It also gets irrigated well from my sprinklers 3 days a week during the dry season, which is now. And so it's doing well. Anyway, I have 3 open spikes that are coming from the keikis on this plant. I think there's another spike that is coming out that's on one of the keikis, and then there are 2 terminal spikes coming out of this plant. And because the plant is so busy or crowded with keikis that are coming out of it, there may be additional flower spikes that are buried in here that I can't see. This is a real good performer. The flowers themselves are pretty, they're small, kind of a purple color. They're not fragrant at all, but with the amount of flowering that this plant does, it's noticeable. The flowers are small, but there's so many of them, and there's so many spikes on this plant that it really does put on a nice show. I should mention that this is a relatively new hybrid that was generated. The cross was made by RF Orchid, and they registered this hybrid. So Vanda Selena is a cross made by RF Orchids. Does well. It's a great plant. I don't even know if they carry it anymore. Next time I go, I'll ask. But small flowers, no fragrance. But aside from that, this is a really nice plant. Very florific, and a nice performer. Okay, let's get on to this plant right here. And I'm excited. I'm excited about all blooms, but I'm excited about this. This is yet another first bloom from a seedling from RF Orchids. So this is, and I gotta look at this. This is Amina Ash, Vanda Amina Ash times Vanda Krista Collins. And I got this as a seedling from RF, similar to the one that I showed you before. Actually, it's at a different time. I got them a few months, actually a year apart. I guess I go to RF maybe a little bit too much. But I've had this plant, this seedling, for 3 years. And this is yet another first bloom on an unregistered cross that RF has made. So I, again, took pictures of the flowers and the plant itself and everything that's going on here and sent this to them, and hopefully there'll be a name, they'll register this hybrid soon. The flowers themselves, I think this is for me, because I don't have too many Vandas, this is the nicest flower that I have on my plant. So it is it's a nice kind of a lavender to pink color. The sepals on the bottom are a little bit darker, either that or they're more spotted than the top part of the flower, which is not unusual to see in Vandas. But lots of spots, you know, a deep either maroon or dark pink coloration on this. But again, I like this because the flowers on this plant are bigger than any of my other Vanda flowers. And this is the first bloom on this plant that's not that big. So what I'm thinking of is if this plant grows much more, the flowers, and there's a lot of flowers on this first bloom spike on this seedling. As the plant gets bigger and as it adjusts more, I'm thinking I'll get more bloom spikes, but more importantly, bigger flowers and more of them on this plant. So this is a plant I'm pretty happy with so far. Seems to be doing well. Again, all the plants on the street, well, in this general area, seem to be doing well. So again, this is an unregistered hybrid Vanda from RF Orchids in Homestead, Florida, and hopefully they will name it soon. I'm not sure with any of the Vandas if I'm going to breed or cross any of these things. Yeah, I've got plenty to do just with my Cattleya crosses, but it's really nice that I'm getting these Vandas to perform a little bit better for me now. Okay, the last Vanda that I want to share with you, I'm not sure if I'm not as excited about this one, but this is a Vanda that I've had for quite a few years. I picked this one up at my Society Bingo event, and I picked it up, I think it was probably around 4 years ago. 4 years. I got this at the end of 4 years. And so this is Vanda Cherry Blossom. And I think this is an old hybrid. It's an old plant. It has, but it stayed small. It has produced, so the first plant that I got produced some keikis, and I pulled some keikis off. They didn't make it. I have this one this is in, looks like leca and lavastone. So maybe I should attach it to a tree somewhere, but this is a small plant, and this is a primary hybrid between two different Vanda species. So I'm curious to see, well, I know what the flowers are going to look like, so I think they're supposed to be small pink flowers, and from looking at the two, and this has 2 bloom spikes on this plant, but from looking at the bloom spikes that are coming out from it, yeah, they are going to be small flowers. I hope I get some fragrance because it's a primary hybrid. You know, lots of nice new roots growing out of this plant. Seems to be doing well, but it took a long time to adjust. Again, I've had this plant for 4 years, and I'm getting my first bloom out of this now, and I don't have the patience for this. I did move the location, so this gets a lot of light in the summertime. Yikes, this gets a lot of light, and maybe I figured out that's what this plant needs in order to get a bloom. I'll bring you video of the flowers once they're open. As slow as this plant's growing, I think that I probably have, I would guess I've got a month for at least 2 weeks, probably a month until these flowers open. I'm excited to get my first bloom. This thing almost died a few times. Again, a division from this plant did die because I wanted to try, this is what I do, is I try plants at different locations, try to figure out what conditions they like. And I think I got the location for this plant figured out. This gets a lot more sun than these two plants here. In the in the summertime, this probably gets maybe about 3 to 4 hours of direct sun a day, and maybe that was enough to do it for this. Okay, so again, Vanda Cherry Blossom, an old hybrid, hasn't yet bloomed for me, but I'm excited. Finally, I'm excited to get some blooms off of this plant. Hopefully, yeah, they look like those are good, healthy blooms. So looks like I'll get something out of it. All right. So, surprise, all Vandas today. Hopefully, I think I've got some more seedlings on the trees behind me. Hopefully, we'll get blooms out of those soon. More things. I still am waiting for the first bloom on my oldest Vanda. We'll see how much longer that takes. Again, I'm not yanking off the tree, and the plant's getting really big, but we'll just see. It's not in anyone's way right now. Once it gets in someone's way, I'm removing it. Anyway, that's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed my Vanda video. If you did and you want to keep on seeing my videos, it would help me out if you can click on like, share, and subscribe to my channel if you're not already a subscriber. All right, that's all I have for you. Again, I hope you enjoyed today's video, and happy propagating.